Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Monday, September 29th. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A fisherman recreating on Moses Lake on Friday discovered the body of a deceased local woman. At its regular meeting held in Wenatchee over the weekend, the Washington Fish and Wildlife Commission approved the first phase of a project to expand the Big Bend Wildlife Area in Douglas County. Showers and cooler weather in the forecast through Thursday. Your full local forecast is coming up. A Sunday spot fire traveled beyond the containment efforts on the Lower Sugarloaf Fire, sparking a 60-acre brush burn high on Burch Mountain. Wildfire crews working on the Lower Sugarloaf and Lower Mountain incidents were able to contain that spot fire, which broke out in late afternoon and was controlled by midnight. Authorities lifted some level 1 evacuation notices, which had been placed in the Chumstick Valley on the west edge of the fire line, but alerts from level 1 through level 3 remain in place to the east and south for areas including Burch Mountain and Sunny Slope. Smoke from both the large fires, which range from 35,000 to 39,000 acres, has continued to choke the Wenatchee Valley and parts beyond. Over the weekend, Wenatchee was at one point rated as having the worst air quality in the entire country. The Lower Mountain fire continues to keep Highway 97 at Blewett Pass closed to all traffic for fire operations and driver safety. Crews say battling that fire as it stretches deeper west into Chelan County has been treacherous thanks to rugged terrain. The communities of Ingalls Creek, Valley High, and Camas Meadows remain under level 3 evacuation warnings. With fire danger still high and active fires all around, Chelan County commissioners voted today to extend the county's seasonal ban on travel and fire activity on certain backcountry roads. Those restrictions normally end on September 30th. They will now extend until October 15th. A Wenatchee woman shot to death by her neighbor under mysterious circumstances over the summer appears to have been a victim of mistaken identity. Mickey Pearl Crater was 91 when she was fatally shot last June in the bedroom of her vacation home in Sun City, Arizona by 71-year-old Gary Mertz, a next-door neighbor. Mertz also shot Mickey's son Dwayne Crater 5 times in the arm, chest, and neck, but Dwayne survived that assault. Mertz then left the house and fatally shot himself as police arrived. Records obtained by NCWLIFE News from the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office says Mertz had been keeping an eye on the Crater family's house while it was unoccupied, although he had never met them. When Mertz saw lights in the house that night, he investigated and shot both occupants with a handgun, mistaking them for intruders. According to police, he then told his wife he did not want to go to jail and took his own life as she watched. It was the second homicide at the Sun City house in 7 months. Last November, Mickey Crater's son George Crater was arrested for the alleged assault and murder of a tenant at the home, Thomas Galatalo. George Crater had flown from Wenatchee to Arizona to confront Galatalo about overdue rent. He is now in jail in Phoenix awaiting trial on charges of murder and kidnapping. Deputies with the Chelan County Sheriff's Office arrested a man in Wenatchee on Sunday night after he allegedly stabbed his roommate. The incident report says it was just after 5 p.m. when deputies responded to reports of a stabbing on Boudry Street. The victim was quickly located and transported to Confluence Health Hospital's Central Campus, where he was treated for a stomach wound, reportedly inflicted with a 4-inch bladed pocket knife. The suspect was identified as 28-year-old Miguel A. Hernandez. Witnesses told officers Hernandez stabbed the man for telling him to calm down during a confrontation with a different man at the residence. Officers surrounded the home on Cherry Street that Hernandez had fled to, and police placed him under arrest once he exited the residence. He was booked into the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. Deputies say they're seeking a charge of first-degree assault. A fisherman recreating in Moses Lake on Friday discovered the body of a deceased local woman. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says deputies were called to the community boat launch near the Moses Lake sand dunes about noontime, where the body of 82-year-old Lateetha Senothnan was recovered floating in the lake. After investigations, detectives said it was likely she fell from her pontoon boat, which was later found along the lake shoreline. There appeared to be no signs of foul play in her death. When we come back, school districts in north central Washington are collaborating to recruit additional bus drivers, and Washington's Hanford Nuclear Reservation enriched tons of plutonium for atomic weapons during World War II and the Cold War, and it's been trying to dispose of the resulting nuclear waste ever since. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
School's back, but this is the kind of math we like. Over 100 slices of pepperoni, one giant Abby's pizza feeds up to 6 hungry people. That's A+ value, toppings to the edge. That's been the Abby's way since forever. Now go do your homework. When someone says, bring home the bacon, we know what they mean. They want Abby's legendary Bacon Cheddar Pizza, loaded with country bacon and packed with Canadian bacon. On sale now at abbys.com. This month, bring home the bacon at family-owned Abby's.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
At its regular meeting held in Wenatchee over the weekend, the Washington Fish and Wildlife Commission approved the first phase of a project to expand the Big Bend wildlife area in Douglas County. The State Commission voted to acquire 2,135 acres west of the existing wildlife area and add it to the total. The Fish and Wildlife Department says the step will help protect high-quality sagebrush steppe habitat, ponderosa pine stands, wetlands, and Columbia River shoreline. Columbian sharp-tailed grouse and greater sage grouse call that area home, and the state has made a goal of preserving and protecting both species. Outdoor recreation opportunities will include hunting, biking, fishing, hiking, and horseback riding. The state says it's in negotiations to add 2 other parcels to the Big Bend area in the near future. School districts in north central Washington are collaborating to recruit additional bus drivers. This Saturday, the Wenatchee School District will host a regional bus driver job fair to fill open positions for drivers and substitute drivers in the Wenatchee, Cashmere, Cascade, and Eniat school districts. The fair starts at 9 a.m. and will be held at the district's Transportation Department building. The district says those in attendance will have the opportunity to apply on site, connect with current drivers and transportation staff, and even test drive a school bus. The position also offers full or part-time positions with a flexible schedule. Washington's Hanford Nuclear Reservation enriched tons of plutonium for atomic weapons during World War II and the Cold War. It's been trying to dispose of the resulting nuclear waste ever since. A $30 billion vitrification plant due to go online soon was almost derailed this year as the Trump administration told senators it would no longer support that project. But Energy Secretary Chris Wright has since reversed course, and the new facility designed to convert 56 million gallons of nuclear waste into easily stored pillars of glass could begin the process as early as next week. Hanford managers say that's almost a month ahead of schedule. Coming up next, 34-year-old Colin Oliveira will begin his new role as Executive Director of Lighthouse Christian Ministries on Wednesday. Get to know him in tonight's feature story. Rain showers in the forecast through Thursday. I'll have your local weather details coming up, as well as Eric Granstrom with all the day's sports as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues after the break.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
34-year-old Colin Oliveira will begin his new role as Executive Director of Lighthouse Christian Ministries on Wednesday. He will be replacing Sean Arrington, who announced his resignation last week. The Lighthouse has served as an outreach agency for Wenatchee's homeless population, but suffered a setback when the city of Wenatchee revoked permitting for its main Columbia Street facility in August. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE's Casey Safford spoke with Oliveira about his training for the position and how the organization has been operating since the shutdown.
Yeah, so I was born in Moses Lake, but I grew up in East Wenatchee and Wenatchee my whole life. Been here, causing trouble when I was younger and doing all of the things that we do as teenagers, right? Getting in trouble a little bit. And, thankfully I ended up being introduced to the Lord, and I met my wife here. My kids live here with me. I got to go and experience some things out of state, and I got to go to Omaha and help with some church-related activities down there, planting a church and recovery ministry and stuff before coming back. So
great.
Yeah.
All right, and then tell us about how you got started being involved with the Lighthouse here.
Yeah, so my involvement here started about 3.5 years ago. I was baptized by Sean Arrington at Sage Hills Church, and my life just took a drastic turn, and I just wanted to really dedicate everything that I was to the Lord, which got me into working for the truck ministry here at Lighthouse back about 3.5 years ago. So I started doing the truck ministry. I ended up getting into social service work, kind of doing recovery navigator tasks with the cafe. And through that, I was down here constantly at Lighthouse, getting people, taking them to treatment, taking them to detox, helping them find recovery, introducing them to Christ. And from there, really, like I said, things just kind of snowballed. I went to Omaha and did a lot of things down there, and came back. Sean said, "Hey, I have a job waiting for you when you come back, please," And so I got to come back and step into the director position here in our building the last few months that we were open. So.
All right, yeah, so now Sean is going to be resigning at the end of this month. Tell us a bit, you mentioned there was some training involved. What was that process like, and what did it entail?
Yeah, so really the training has been continuous just for the last 3.5 years, really. Sean has been an amazing mentor. Anybody that knows scripture, I can say he was really the Paul to my Timothy, kind of a father figure in the faith, really. So much of this training really comes from having a good understanding and a good foundation in the Lord, right? Because as a Christian nonprofit, that is where our focus is at, is how do we bring people to Christ? Other than that, I mean, the basic the behind the scenes stuff is something I've actually been going to school for a little while. I'm working towards my bachelor's in business leadership. And I was doing that because 3.5 years ago when I met Sean Arrington, he said, "Hey, I'm always looking for people to replace me in everything that I do." And so I knew coming back to Wenatchee, this was something that, like I said, has been in the works for a while. Something that's been planned, slowly but surely over these last 3.5 years. So.
Your location down here with Downtown Connections was recently shut down with the city's revocation of that permit. So tell us a bit about how that has affected your organization in general and maybe where you're redirecting volunteer efforts in the wake of that.
Yeah, so the folks that I've been meeting that are still interested in doing volunteer work, I've been sending them to Serve Wenatchee, the Wenatchee Rescue Mission, up to Community for the Advancement of Family Education across from DSHS there. Our building may be shut down, but we're still thriving as a ministry. We're still focusing on our discipleship homes. We're instituting new curriculum. We have a lot of things going there. And so we're still very relevant, very vibrant, very much pursuing the goal that we have as a ministry. So.
All right. Well, then to just finish off here, tell us what you're looking forward to the most about stepping in for Sean.
Yeah, I think what I'm looking forward to the most is just at this season in our ministry is being able to just really elevate our discipleship homes and really being able to take the time and spend the time and the energy to really speak life into these men and women, to be able to give them the skills to go back into our community and be productive members, as well as just having the skills and the ability to stay in recovery and to keep from going back into relapse. So.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Smoky all weekend, and guess what today? More of that smoke. In fact, nothing has really changed over the past week or so. This is our lower Wenatchee Heights tower camera because our cross camera, you can't see anything. So we had to go down about 100 feet just to see parts of the Wenatchee Valley. And that is what we've been dealing with since this morning. And our air quality in the Wenatchee area, 177 currently. If we go over to the index, that is in the unhealthy category, 151 to 200. And I don't expect that to change throughout the evening hours as well. We'll see about tomorrow with some rain showers moving in. But today's high temperature with that haze and smoke stayed a little bit cooler than we thought. 73 unofficially today. 71 is where we should be for this time of year. Our record high, 87, and that was set in 1993. 57 this morning, 9 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. Our normal low is now at 48 degrees, and our record cold, 31, and that was set in 1985. Sunrise this morning just before 7 a.m. at 6:58, and it sets tonight at 6:43. As we get you into your Tuesday weather picture, it looks like just a little bit cooler temperatures. We will see a steady increase in clouds tomorrow. 71 for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 70 the high in Quincy, 68 in Wenatchee and Entiat, and then just a touch warmer as you go up to Chelan, 70 in Omak tomorrow, 64 for Lake Wenatchee, and 66 the high temperature tomorrow in Leavenworth. First time we've seen 60s in quite some time. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, still a little bit of a ridge over us, but we're still going to see plenty of that haze tonight. Showers will diminish and move off to the east if we see anything this evening. For Tuesday, mostly cloudy skies as that low moves just a little bit more to the north. That will favor us with a southwesterly flow of moisture. And by the time we get into Tuesday evening, about a 60% chance of rain. High temperatures tomorrow, as we mentioned, in the upper 60s. And then as we kick off October on Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies once again. About a 50-50 chance that we'll see scattered showers in the afternoon Wednesday. Highs again, a little on the cool side, mid to upper 60s. On Thursday, partly cloudy skies as another ridge of high pressure begins to build over the northwest, but we could still see some lingering showers from the area of storminess that moved to the east. About a 40% chance of rain on Thursday. Once again, mid to upper 60s for high temperatures. And then as we get into the end of the week, partly cloudy and warmer on Friday. Just a few clouds rolling through the state. We'll see high temperatures on Friday, right around 70 degrees. And then as we get you into the upcoming weekend, boy, Boy, it looks nice. Mostly sunny on Saturday as high pressure rules our weather into the upcoming weekend. High temperatures, beautiful, right around 70 degrees. And as we get into the end of our forecast and the end of your weekend on Sunday, it's going to be beautiful, sunny and nice. Not a cloud in the state of Washington on Sunday, with high temperatures very comfortable in the upper 60s. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. 51 overnight tonight, and then a few days of rain. Mostly cloudy, 60% chance of rain Tuesday, 50% on Wednesday, also a 30% chance of rain on Thursday. High temperatures generally mid to upper 60s, 67 for your Friday, and as we get into the upcoming weekend, lots of sunshine with high temperatures in the upper 60s. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Happy Monday. The Mariners finished the Major League Baseball season Sunday with a 6-1 loss to the Dodgers. LA completed a 3-game sweep with the win. However, the Mariners used a bunch of bench players over the weekend after they solidified the number 2 seed in the American League West, or the American League playoffs, and a first-round bye Thursday. Seattle will have a couple scrimmages this week to stay ready for their AL Divisional playoff series against either Detroit or Cleveland Saturday at T-Mobile Park. Manager Dan Wilson very proud of what his team accomplished this season.
What a regular season it was. I thought, the way our guys played and how hard they played all season long, what a great season. And the accomplishments have been many, as we've talked about. And, everything changes as of tomorrow. Everybody goes to 0-0, and we start from there. So, looking forward to starting the preparation for what lies ahead for us, and it's exciting. And Bryce today, just a couple of homers, but I thought he threw the ball well. Kershaw on their side, what do you say about the career that guy has had? He's quite a pitcher, and I think now our focus really begins to sharpen and starts to take preparation mode for what lies ahead for this club. The schedule is a workout Tuesday, those exhibition or inter-squad games kind of Wednesday, Thursday to keep as sharp as we can at bats, pitchers throwing to hitters, stay as sharp as we can. Friday another workout, and then Saturday everything starts. So the idea is to keep our edge as best we can. I don't think there's an exact science to it. But we'll do the best we can to keep everybody ready and raring to go. And I think a big part of this weekend was getting as much rest as we could and still, trying to get guys at bats. And I think we were able to accomplish that for sure. And, I thought the crowd and the excitement that was in the ballpark was obviously outstanding as it's been down the stretch here. And so from that kind of a standpoint, it was a great weekend, and now we look forward.
Seattle winds up winning the American League West by 3 games over Houston, who will miss the playoffs. Texas fell to Cleveland in 10 innings on the final day and finishes third, 9 games behind the Mariners. Wildcard playoffs begin with 4 games tomorrow. Detroit plays at Cleveland at 10 in the morning on ESPN. Cubs host the Padres at noon on ABC. Yankees and Red Sox face off in Yankee Stadium at 3 o'clock on ESPN. Dodgers host the Reds at 6 on ESPN. Well, Washington managed just 2 field goals Saturday in a 24-6 loss to top-ranked Ohio State. Zevi Eckles threw 2 touchdowns in Washington State's 20-3 win over Colorado State. Montana State had a total of 580 yards of offense in blowing out Eastern Washington 57-3. Justice Taylor rushed for 169 yards and 3 touchdowns as Central Washington beat New Mexico. West western New Mexico, 91-31. That was the final. Seahawks are now tied with two other teams atop the NFC West following the NFL weekend. The Rams topped the Colts 27-20. Jacksonville upset San Francisco 26-21. So the Niners, Rams, and Seahawks are all 3-1, while the Cardinals are 2-2. Seattle hosts Tampa Bay this Sunday at Lumen Field. Now the game time is set for 1:05, but that could change with the Mariners ALDS Game 2 next door at T-Mobile Park. Brady J threw for 355 yards and 6 touchdowns to lead Moses Lake over Wenatchee 56-0 as we check the prep scoreboard. Eastmont scored 4 rushing touchdowns and another through the air on a halfback option and held on to beat Sunnyside 35-28. Drayden Burley rushed for 3 touchdowns and threw for another to lead West Valley over Davis 29-26. Lake City blew out Eisenhower 49-0. In SCAC play, make it 251-0 for Cashmere so far this season. Friday's 63-0 win over Wahluke pushed the Bulldogs' record of 4-0, who have outscored their opponents 251-0 this season. They'll face off against undefeated and defending state champion Royal coming up on Friday. Well, Quincy earned their first victory of the season, downing Wapato 35-14 Friday. Ephrata fell to East Valley 49-14. In CTL play, well, all non-league Omak shut out Clarkston 42-0. Manson edged Cascade 14-13. Liberty Bell beat Chelan 39-30. Okanagan beat Riverview 42-0. Waterville Mansfield topped Bridgeport 62-28. Brewster topped Tonasket 37-30. Elmira Cooley Heartline put a whooping on Lake Roosevelt 92-44. Oroville peppered Pateras 80-0. Entiat topped Moses Lake Christian 40-32. Well, the 58th meeting between Wenatchee and Eastmont is this Friday. Wildcat Stadium. The annual Bridge of Sportsmanship Trophy is up for grabs. When the Wildcats host the Panthers, NCWLIFE will have the coverage. I'll be alongside Paul Collard with your play-by-play. Our pregame gets underway at 6:30. Well, Eastmont dropped their first league soccer match of the season Saturday. Wenatchee, meanwhile, remained undefeated. Wildcats fell to West Valley 5-2. Wenatchee edged Eisenhower 3-2. Other plays Saturday. Ellensburg blanked Quincy 3-0. Ephrata edged Othello 2-1. Cascade trounced Tonasket 9-0. Chelan beat Liberty Bell 3-1. Pateras beat Bridgeport 3-0. Brewster and Highland played to a 4-4 tie. Lake Roosevelt down Warden 5-0, and Mount Vernon Christian topped Okanagan 4-1. Well, weather permitting, smoke permitting, we should say, NCWLIFE will broadcast Wenatchee and Eastmont tomorrow night at Wildcat Stadium in girls soccer. I'll be along Matt Wisen with the play-by-play. Now, if things get weird and we get smoky again, we'll move that indoors and play volleyball. How about that? Speaking of, on the prep volleyball scoreboard, Manson swept Tonasket. Garden City Academy topped Thorpe. Bridgeport down Oroville in 3 games. Wenatchee took second in the crossover tournament. Congratulations to the Panthers. Wenatchee Wild dropped to 0-2 on the Young Western Hockey League season. Aiden Grosclose was the only Wild player to find the back of the net to the 4-1 loss at the Town Toyota Center. Next up for Wenatchee, another home game. They'll play Friday against Victoria at 7 o'clock. Final weekend of racing at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval is in the books. 6 classes of races were featured during the Make That Support Class Nationals. East Wenatchee's Jason Walker won the Plum Perfect Roadrunner main event. Apple Valley Pumping Crown Vic Stocks main was won by Pilot Rock Oregon's Kedrick Preston. Benton City's Caleb Keck won the final Angels Bail Bond Legends race of the year. Jaden Luce was second, followed by Damian Harris. The Zero Handicap Mini Bombers checkered flag flew for Ephrata's Brad Arneson. Postfall Idaho's Wyatt Freer was second, followed by Wenatchee's Caleb Gill. Wenatchee's Matthew Anders won the Knutson General Contracting Bandoleros main event. Cashmere's Piper Andrus was second, followed by Yakima's Hunter Maggart. B&T Towing Youth Roadrunners main event was won by Wenatchee's Reagan Moore. Kellen Ingram was second, and Tacoma's Jacob Levitt was third. Great racing this year at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Monday.
And that will do it for this Monday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. You can email us with news tips anytime at news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.